Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing and doing a quick hands-on review of the Infinix Note 10. So here's the box. Infinix has launched this phone in India in two variants. Base variant is priced at 11,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. Next variant is priced at 12,500 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's available in three colors: emerald green, 7-degree purple, and 95-degree black. We have the 6GB variant in the emerald green color. Now the main highlights for this phone would be its massive display, great cameras, bigger battery, fast charging, and most importantly, dual stereo speakers, which you really can't find in any other phones in this price segment, including all of the specifications. Personally, I think this dual stereo speaker setup is something all other brands should follow, but very few are able to do. Anyway, I think that's going to be the main selling point for this phone besides that bigger screen and bigger battery. Anyway, first let's have a quick unboxing. So here's the box once again. It just has a branding and it says 6 plus 128GB and some more specs. On the backside we have some more highlights as well, specifications, pricing, and so on. Now let's unbox it. First we have the phone itself. Next we have the 18-watt fast charger, a USB Type-C charging cable. It even has orange accent colors, which looks pretty cool. Next we have the SIM card ejector, some documentation. We also get a free transparent case, really appreciated. And finally, we also get a free screen guard. Now coming back to the phone, let me just remove all these stickers. Now this is how the phone looks on the front, and this is how the phone looks on the back. Now let's have a physical overview. On the back, this phone has a plastic back panel with tapered edges and a glossy finish. And underneath it, we also have a pretty cool pattern going on with a gradient color. Overall, it looks pretty cool. But at the end of the day, it's plastic with a glossy finish, so it attracts a lot of fingerprints and smudges. At the top, we have the camera module with a triple camera setup along with a quad LED flash. At the bottom, we have the Infinix branding. On the front, we have a massive 6.95-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution, a punch hole design with a peak brightness of 480 nits. Overall, bezels are also pretty slim. Above the display, we have just the earpiece and some sensors, and below the display, it's completely plain. And the chin is pretty small considering the price. Now for the sides, on the right side we have the volume buttons along with the power button, which also acts like a fingerprint scanner. At the top it's completely plain. On the left side we have the SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. Finally at the bottom we have the audio jack followed by the primary microphone, USB Type-C charging port, first speaker is at the top, and the secondary speaker. Now this phone has a thickness of 8.8 mm and weighs 205 grams. Initial impressions, in hand it feels slightly thicker and also has a bit of weight to it. With that said, weight distribution is decent, and considering this phone has a massive battery, we really can't complain about these things. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. It fits pretty perfectly. It's just a transparent case. It gives you some grip, prevents smudges, that's all. Not too much in terms of drop protection. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel primary camera, followed by a 2 megapixel camera for taking macro shots and a 2 megapixel camera for taking portrait shots. We also get quad LED flash, which is pretty rare to see on other phones. For selfies, we get a 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. When it comes to performance, this phone sports a MediaTek Helio G85 processor with Mali G52 MC2 GPU with up to 6GB of RAM and up to 128GB of storage. Finally, powering this device is a 5000 mAh battery. It supports fast charging, comes with an 18 watts fast charger, and you can get up to 70% of charge in about 80 minutes. That's pretty fast considering the huge battery size. Now this is how the phone looks once I turn it on and set it up. This is the general user interface. It's not stock Android, it's a custom skin called XOS. Back to the about page. So this phone is running XOS version 7.6 based on Android 11. Right out of the box, we have the March security patch, which is pretty decent. As for the storage, we get about 113GB of space for our user apps and user data. And out of that 6GB of RAM, we get about 4GB of RAM free right out of the box, which is still pretty decent. Now this is the camera interface. It looks pretty similar to other Infinix phones. By default, we get the AI camera mode, that's the default one. On the left side, we have the video and short video modes, and on the right side, we have beauty mode, portrait, and super night mode. We can also swipe up for more features. Now the interface is pretty similar even for the front camera. Now these are some sample shots. By the way, I'll also be posting a dedicated camera review, so you can check that out. for more information about the camera performance of this phone. Now let's test the speakers. This phone actually has dual stereo speakers powered by DTS. And here's a quick sample. Speakers on this phone are pretty loud, definitely loud enough for great media consumption. And obviously it's going to be great for regular ringtones or alarms. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up. This phone has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which is something I am really not a fan of, but it works really well. It's pretty fast and almost instantly unlocks the phone. We also have the face unlock feature. In good lighting conditions, it is pretty fast, unlocks the phone in less than a second. Even in low lighting conditions, it works very well, but takes slightly more time. Even in complete darkness, face unlock works, but it takes about 2 to 3 seconds to unlock the phone. Overall, face unlock works pretty well. If you're not a fan of this fingerprint scanner, you can definitely go with the face unlock feature. By the way, these are the benchmark scores. Now as for the hands-on review, I think this phone is a pretty good phone for the price. We are really getting all the latest tech that you can get for the best price. For just a starting price of 11,000 rupees, we are getting a huge display with a punch hole design, which obviously looks as modern as it can get. A bigger battery, you also get fast charging. In terms of performance, it's not as good as other phones in this price segment, but if you're a normal user, then it can definitely satisfy you. Most importantly, I've been using this phone for quite some time now. Well, obviously an hour or two, but still, phone's performance is really smooth. I couldn't notice any lack of performance or anything like that. Everything has been pretty smooth. I also tried to play Call of Duty and I didn't have any major issues. In fact, I really liked the overall experience because of the bigger display and the stereo speakers. And coming to those stereo speakers, they are definitely loud. If you're someone who consumes a lot of media on your phone, especially from the speakers, you will really appreciate them. It completely changes your overall user experience. And once again, considering the price, there really aren't any other phones or brands that offer stereo speakers at this price segment. So that's definitely one of the most important selling points for this phone. So guys, to conclude, I would say this is definitely a pretty good phone. I would say you're getting the best of all things, but in a very well balanced way. So if you're someone who's not really into performance or not too into cameras, you want a very well balanced phone, then I can definitely recommend you this phone. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. With that said, this is Nikhil signing off. See you in my next video.